Latest with Superstorm Sandy, President Obama has just declared part of New York a major disaster area. That will make it easier for that area to get federal help. So far, 16 people in the U.S. have died. Nearly 7 million people don't have power right now. The storm slammed into New Jersey with 80-mile-per-hour winds last night. In New York, a 13-foot-high surge of water flooded tunnels, subway stations, and the electrical system that powers Wall Street. 200 people had to be evacuated from a hospital in the city after its backup generator failed. Also in New York, 700,000 homes will have no power. They will have to wait anywhere from a few days, maybe even a week, to get it back. Airlines have canceled about 12,000 flights. That includes direct flights from Albuquerque to Baltimore and Washington Dulles.
There's been extraordinarily close coordination between state, federal, and local governments. And so we're confident that the assets are pre-positioned for an effective response in the aftermath of the storm.
Right now, the government says the superstorm will probably cause between $10 and $20 billion in damage. Keep in mind, a lot of this is still less than Hurricane Katrina. When Hurricane Katrina rolled in, she caused $108 billion. But nonetheless, still, look at all the images. A lot of destruction.
Yeah, very sad story over there. Wishing or hoping for the best for people. So, Sandy, not a hurricane anymore, but it has collided with this winter storm. Right now, it's going to bring this new level of destruction.
Right. So basically what happened is it was strengthening when it came in, and that's why the storm surge was part of the reason why the storm surge was what it was. And now, instead of being a tropical system, because of that colder air, it's strengthened and it's become more of a nor'easterly type of system.
It is huge, too. When you look at this picture of the radar, look at the number of states it covers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking Lake Michigan. They're going to have 20 to 25-foot waves from the wind from this storm that just came ashore yesterday. So they're going to have to deal with that, flooding from that, too, and mess. And then, of course, the snow that's going to be coming down, already coming down in parts of West Virginia. They're going to be measuring it in feet, already getting dumped on. So you can see this massive system continues to swirl. It is going to continue to weaken through the day as far as wind speeds go. So we're not going to see the wind speeds that we saw yesterday. And because it has made itself on land, then we aren't going to be looking at the storm surge that we saw last night. But we still could be looking at potential flooding from the storm surge even throughout the day. And of course, we're still going to be talking about the winds that could bring down more trees and more power lines just because the ground is going to be so wet. So we're not done with it yet. It's going to continue on its track slowly to the north, and it's going to continue to bring more widespread rain, wind, and snow for the mountains, so it should be weakening, but they're going to have to be dealing with the effects from the system probably throughout most of this work week.
Well, many people here in New Mexico have loved ones back on the East Coast and have their eyes glued to the TVs and their hands on their phones right now. Yeah,
our News 13's David Romero actually spoke to a woman here in New Mexico and her mother, who was in New York riding out the storm. He is live in the Newsplex. David, we can only imagine how concerned some of these people are.
A lot of concern, Elizabeth. Now, as the storm continues to rage up the East Coast, there are people here that continue to hope their family and friends all there are safe during the entire storm. Now, the storm has left some 6.2 million people without electricity and had killed at least 16 others. Now, although the storm is not affecting the weather here, many people are worried about those on the East Coast, especially their family and friends. Now, one woman whose family lives back there on the east side says they have been preparing for the storm since last week. That means securing loose outdoor furniture and stocking up on supplies. We got a hold of her mom, who says there is one good thing about this timing of this storm.
The good end of it is that it's not cold. So if you are losing any kind of power, at least it's in the 50s. So we're not looking at, having this happen in the middle of a 20-degree winter.
Members from the Red Cross of New Mexico told me that one volunteer from here is already on the way to the East Coast and 6 more are on standby. They also say the best way for people here to monitor the storm is through the Red Cross app for smartphones. Elizabeth, back to you.
And you know what's interesting, David, is that the cell phone companies are actually asking folks not to actually call, but use a text message if they're trying to communicate with their loved ones, because apparently that uses less space, the signal. There's less signal space there. But back to what David was talking about, the United Blood Services of New Mexico are welcoming donations, even though they haven't received any official requests from the East Coast for more blood yet.
In other news this morning, we should find out later today if New Mexico's Urban Search and Rescue Team will head to the East Coast. There are only 28 of these teams of firefighters, engineers, doctors, and EMTs all across the country. Many of them are already on their way to help out with Superstorm Sandy. Mexico's team helped out with the 9/11 attacks in New York and Hurricane Katrina on the Gulf Coast.
Be sure to stay with News 13 for continuing coverage on Superstorm Sandy, both on air and online. We will stream continuous live coverage on the storm at KRQE.com.
Now we go to other news this morning. Dozens of parents will have to find a new place to take their kids to preschool today after the state shut down one center here in Albuquerque. CYFD workers suspended the license for the Peppermint Stick Preschool on Jefferson near Lomas yesterday afternoon. Its director, Dermot Newman, is now charged with raping a 3-year-old. And CYFD says he has to be there most of the time for the school to be open, but can't because of those rape charges. Now, despite that, a lot of parents are standing by Mr. Newman.
My younger son is disabled. He's been here since he was 2 years old. He's going on 8. And, you know, I've never seen anything negative from Mr. Newman, his wife, or anybody that works here.
I have to be careful for them. They don't understand. They don't understand why they can't come to school, and they can't understand why they can't see their teachers.
An emotional situation there. Mr. Newman and his wife have run that daycare center for 33 years now. It can open up again if it finds an interim director. Well, Santa Fe police are now looking for a man who refused to pay for the service on his truck. Police say Nestor Ramirez broke into the Auto Care 2000 shop on Cerrillos Road Sunday night, stole his own truck, then drove it through that door, out of the lot, and onto the road. The shop had just replaced the engine, and Ramirez still owed about 12 grand on it. Then a little later, the shop's owner's wife saw the stolen truck driving right down Cerrillos Road.
He gets in the car, he has a fast car, chases him, and then the police all make this big chase down the road.
Sounds like quite a situation there. Ramirez didn't get far. 2 blocks down the road, he slammed into that fire hydrant and then took off running. Police have not found him yet, but they did say they found beer cans in the truck.
One Rio Rancho man is in trouble this morning after police say he tried to attack them with a weapon that looks like it's from the medieval time period. Police responded to the home of Charles Cook after getting reports of domestic violence there. Well, when they got there, cops say that Cook came out with what's called a halberd, similar to this one. Officers shot Cook twice with a beanbag gun and took him into custody. Police say Cook had been drinking. A small town here in New Mexico is happy to have its only fire truck back after investigators say a guy recently took it for a joyride. And this morning they are looking for his buddy they say helped with the raid. Now this all started last Thursday night in Dixon, which is north of Espanola. Police say Clovis Romero was chucking rocks at the window of the main fire station. He leaves. Then police say about 15 minutes later he breaks back in. And this time he takes off with the fire truck. Now after that, state police say they found Romero and the truck down the road with $12,000 of equipment.
It's going to impact what we have to operate on for the rest of the year. He drained the truck. We didn't just barely had enough to make it back.
Well, Romero's been in trouble before, apparently. He used to be a volunteer firefighter, but got fired a few years ago. The chief says he used the department's gas card for his own card.
Well, now that the weather is getting colder, firefighters have a warning for you. Be safe when you heat your home. Remember, we told you yesterday that firefighters battled 3 house fires last weekend, but now we know that they were directly related to the cold snap. A problem with a gas floor heater started this fire at an apartment in the Northeast Heights, and issues with a wood-burning stove sparked 2 fires in the southeast part of the city. One of them trapped an elderly woman in this home. Firefighters eventually were able to break in and rescue her. And now Albuquerque's fire chief says any one of these fires could have been deadly, but thankfully none of them were.
All of these fires occurred in the early morning hours, and most while the occupants were sleeping. And a $10 smoke detector saved more than 1 person this weekend.
Very important there. Firefighters also say do not use your stove or your oven to heat your home.